Hi everyone, welcome back to today's video. For today, I just wanted to record a little quick intro before you guys jump into the actual video. This is going to be my craft room tour, and I'm just going to be showing you guys around my craft room, in all the little nooks and crannies, how I store everything, all of that kind of stuff. So the first thing that I wanted to say is there's a couple of spots where I mentioned some footage of like the in progress of me rearranging and redoing my craft room. I had filmed some clips. I have no idea what happened to them now. It's been a little while since I started this whole process, so I think I probably accidentally deleted them. So you won't see that, but everything of my actual tour of the entire room is there, and you guys will be able to see that in this video. The second thing that I wanted to say is I recently hit 400 subscribers. It was about a week ago to when I'm filming this today, and this video will go up today. So it was about a week ago today that I hit 400 subscribers, and I am so happy and over the moon. And I really just wanted to take a second to say thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed, who has been a supporter of mine. 400 may not seem like a lot to some people, but 400 is way more than I personally ever expected to get as subscribers and as a support base. So I'm so grateful, and I just wanted to take a second to say thank you so much to everybody who has watched my videos, liked them, commented on them, talked to me personally. I really appreciate it, and there's tons of more exciting things coming up here in the near future, so I hope you guys stick around. And without further ado, here is my craft room tour. Okay, so it is finally here. It is finally time for me to do my craft room tour. It's pretty much done it's as done as it's gonna get. So here it is. I'm basically just gonna walk you guys through everything and show you guys how I store everything and how I utilize my space. So this is actually our spare bedroom. We live in a 2-bedroom apartment, so this is a spare bedroom that we have. So you'll see that it kind of doubles as a guest bedroom and kind of a place for us to store things that we don't want out all the time. But the main purpose of this room is my craft room. So when you first walk in, there's this little entryway right here. To the left right here is a DVD rack that we just have in here because there's really nowhere else to put it, to be completely honest. So that's here. It obviously isn't part of my craft room, so I don't utilize it. It's just kind of there. But the first thing when you walk in, I have this little Sterilite bin here. And, oh, disclaimer, there are dogs running around, so you may see the dogs or hear them throughout this video. They're running around. But anyway, so I have this 3-drawer Sterilite container, and I actually put this here because I was going to throw it away. So I put it here so I would go ahead and toss it, and I actually ended up using it. So on the top here, I just keep anything that I need to mail out. So like this is a catalog that needs to be, I need to purchase the label, print it out, and put that in the mail. And then this little gray bin here, I put any cards, birthday cards, racks, thank you cards, anything, any card that needs to get mailed out, I'll put it in that little bin, and I can just take that bin and put it in my car and go to the post office. So I actually just dropped everything off at the post office that needed to go, so it's empty right now. But and then in the drawers, in this top drawer, there's just envelopes and packing tape. The second drawer down is empty, and then the bottom drawer down there has all of my photos that need to be put into scrapbooks and albums and stuff. That whole bin down there is completely full, so I have a lot of work to do, but I'll get to it eventually. Then coming into the room, when you go right here, the bed is right here, and then we have this closet here, but it's not really used for my craft needs. It's really kind of like a store all for us, so we won't be going in there. This box right here isn't going to stay here permanently, but it's been here for a while, and I just figured I'd include it. It's wedding stuff, so the box has like our invitations and such in it, and things. I mean, our wedding is less than 2 months away now, so anything that we're going to be taking that day is kind of getting stacked here. So this is kind of part of Wedding HQ, if you want to call it that. There's another section as well. But like I said, so you enter the room here. We have the bed here. It's, like I said, it doubles as our guest room. We don't have tons of people stay with us, but that is what this room doubles as. And then on this big wall right here, this is probably my favorite part of the room. And I think I filmed a little bit of this already when this was in progress. This is just kind of a mural of pictures and such with my fiance and I. All of the photos are from our engagement photo shoot, so these will probably be swapped out as time goes on with other pictures, but that's what's here right now. Let me zoom in. I have tons of stuff up here. And yeah, I really like it. It's probably, like I said, my favorite part of the room because my desk is right off to the left. So I really get to see, I basically look at this all the time that I'm in here. Okay, something crazy just happened with my camera. But anyways, I was just saying, I don't know where exactly I cut off, but this is, I basically look at this while I'm sitting at my desk. So I love it. I'm very, very happy with it. And then moving into, so there's this little walkway right here from between where my desk is and where the bed is. So as you come in, over here we just have this little blanket here, which is where the dogs, sometimes they lay there, sometimes they'll jump up on the bed, whichever. And then here I just have a little TV so I can watch TV and stuff while I'm in here. And I don't know if you can see my, there I am. And then over here is where it starts getting into all of the storage and such. So I'm just going to walk you guys through everything. And if there's anything I miss and somebody wants extra clarification on something, just please let me know. And I'll try and do this as smooth as possible so it's not super shaky, but I can't make any promises because I am holding the camera. So I'll just start with this area right here. So on top here, I have this lamp. It doesn't have a lampshade on it just because it gives the most light without the lampshade, and that's really why I need it in here. It's not for decoration. I literally need light in here because this room has no light. This little mason jar just has some like decorative scissors, some roller stamps, stuff that I don't really use, but I didn't want to put it away completely. And then back there is a scrapbook album that I did for my mom, I don't know, probably has it been 5 years? I don't know, it's been a while. So I have that. And then my old film camera I have back there as well. And then if I come out, I guess I can show you guys over here. I have wrapping paper. There's actually more wrapping paper down there, boxes. This is my Instax camera. I bought it. I honestly thought I was going to use it so much, and I don't use it a ton. And the film is super expensive, so I don't know if I'm super happy with it, but it's there. I still use it from time to time. And then I just have this little bag that I like to take when I go traveling and stuff. This is usually the bag that I put my craft items in because it's the perfect size. It's this canvas, so you can't really mess it up, and it's really, really good to travel with. Now for this little section. So up top, I have this little 12 by 12 shelving unit. I got this and this one at Michael's. They're two separate units. And the ones with the shelves, so this shelf up here has all of my 12 by 12 paper that is either non-Stampin' Up! Paper or is Stampin' Up! Paper that's retired. So, I don't know how you guys can see, like this is not Stampin' Up! Paper, none of this is, but then we get into like this was part of the Occasions catalog. I still have some of this marble paper in here. So this is all paper that I still keep. I honestly don't use it that much, but I still have it. And all of that goes there. So I know that when I'm going to go film a video for you guys, I usually don't grab from this shelf because I want to be able to show you guys products that you can still purchase. This shelf down here is where I do keep all of my current Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper and 12 by 12 sheets. So you can see I've got tons of different paper here, all of this stuff, my window sheets, all of that stuff is there. Then on this shelf down here, I keep my punches. So I don't have very many punches. I have crazy dogs though. Hey, 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 it's gonna be okay. I don't have very many punches. I just have 6 total. And I love them. I love the Stampin' Up! Punches. I just don't have a ton of them. I kind of use what I already have, and a lot of the other products that I have I can use in replacement of some of the punches that you might want to purchase. Way in the very back there, there's an alphabet stamp set. That was probably like the first stamp set that I ever purchased at least 12 years ago. And then behind my punches is where I keep my hot glue gun. Down on the last shelf here, I have my clear bags that I store my cards in. Once I'm done making cards, I store them in here so I can give them away or do whatever with them, just so that they stay really nice and they don't get messed up. And I'll show you guys that in a second. And then to the right of that, this is where I keep my 12 by 12 sheets or designer series paper that I've already used some. So this drawer up here, or this shelf up here, is the full 12 by 12 sheets, and this little section down here is the sheets that I've already used some. So I know that if I'm looking for a smaller piece, I can just, usually I go here first and see if I can grab a piece before I grab a full sheet of 12 by 12. So hopefully that makes sense. And then coming into these drawers, this first drawer, again, I got this unit at Michael's. This drawer has really like office supply stuff. So there's like my sticker paper. This is a sticker paper that I use. It's upside down, but this is a sticker paper that I use from my Erin Condren planner. Regular copy paper, ink, envelopes. There's all kinds of stuff in here, but very just office-y things. Then in this drawer, this is where I keep all of my paper pumpkin scraps and extra stuff. So once I make paper pumpkin, once I make my paper pumpkin kit, and then I make kind of like my redo projects, everything else goes in here, and it seems kind of messy and unorganized, but for me, I really, really like it because it's a good way to store everything so that it's all kind of together, but I don't have to store it in those boxes because this is a small room. We do live in an apartment, and we don't have a ton of storage space, so it works really well. And honestly, I mean, when you throw things in here, all of the kits and stuff usually get stacked together. So like here is the last this past month's kit. This is the kit from before. Stuff usually gets stacked together, and I have a pretty good memory, so I pretty much know what went together in the kits. So that's how I store my paper pumpkin extras. And then this bottom drawer down here is where I store all of my scraps of paper that are non-Stampin' Up! Or that are retired Stampin' Up! Products. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So as I was saying, this is the drawer that I store all of my scrap paper that is non-Stampin' Up! Or that's retired. So like this is, oh, what is this color? Tangelo Twist, Mossy Meadow, Hello Honey, all of that stuff. And then non-Stampin' Up! Paper, like that stuff down there, that's where I store all of this. Then in this beautiful green nightstand, so this is my fiance's and he won't let me paint it, but I do use it for storage. So in this top drawer right here, I keep all of my kind of like extras. So all of my Stampin' Spots go here. Actually, let me stand up, it'll be easier. All of my Stampin' Spots go here so that I can keep them all in one place and give them to people. I have quite a few back there. Oops, I'm getting caught. My sponges, my Stampin' Mystery Fill, my Staples refill, tape, every kind of refill item that you could think of kind of stays in this drawer, and it's really easy for me to grab stuff as I need it. Then down here, there's two shelves. This first shelf here is really all of my Stampin' Up! Businessy things. So you'll see that there's some order sheets, some folders. These are all postcards to go out for people doing classes. All of the more businessy things get stored here. And then down here, these are all 12 by 12 packs of paper that are non-Stampin' Up! That I just honestly don't use anymore. I still keep them because I do grab them from time to time if I'm just doing a simple project for a friend or a family member. But for the most part, I don't really grab this stuff, but I don't have the heart to get rid of it because I feel like eventually I will use it. So I still have it. It's there. And then to the right over here, this is all kind of vinyl stuff. So there's vinyl, transfer paper, contact paper. These are actually really heavy duty They're kind of like vinyl sheets. I don't know. They're more plasticky than anything. These are numbers, spare numbers for my fiance's dirt bike. A ton of stuff in here that, again, I just don't really grab it much, but I still use it from time to time. So that stuff's there. And then coming over here, so to just give you guys an overview of what's to the left of that little area, these little square shelving units is where I store majority of my craft items. Okay, so starting from the top, and I'm sorry if there's some shadows. I do have the window open because it brings in a lot of light. So on the top here, this is where I keep my Big Shot when I want to use it. If it's a small piece, I can just run it through right here and it's fine. If not, I'll just move it down. There's a little extra space on this table, or I'll just move it over to my desk. But that's a great place to store it, I found. Here is where I keep all of my Stampin' Write markers. Now, I don't keep them in the container that they came in because I feel like the container is a little hard to grab the markers out of. It just doesn't work very well for me. I like to have everything out in the open where I can see it, and the container that they come in just wasn't doing it for me. So I actually took these little plastic pieces out. So the way that it comes in these little plastic cases, and I took them out. The thing is that these plastic pieces, these rows, aren't actually attached. So what I did was, I don't think you could even see it, but I took a piece of packing tape, and I just put one piece here and then one piece on the back, and it works perfectly fine, and that's where I store those. And it's really easy because I can just grab this whole thing and put it on my desk and have all of my markers right at my fingertips to use. So it works out really well. Next is where I keep all of my current stamp sets. So I don't, because I am a hobbyist, I would like to make Stampin' Up! More into a business for myself, but right now I am really mainly a hobbyist, so I keep all of my stamp sets. But because I make YouTube videos, I also try to make sure that I'm only using products that you guys can still get. So this is where all of my current stamp sets are stored. So these little metal bins are actually from the Container Store. It's like their DVD storage rack, and I think that was like $7.99 or something like that. I've had it for a while. So I think it was no more than $10. I know that. And it works really great. It obviously stores the stamps really well, and it keeps them very organized, but I've outgrown it a little bit, so I've kind of had to start stacking some stuff over to the side. And then up here, I just have my little calendar that's from Paper Pumpkin from months ago, and then a tissue box. Then over to the right, this is where all of my ink pads are, and I keep my ink pads in these same little wire baskets. This is actually the CD size though, and I think these were like $4.99 or something. I think they were right around $5, but you can see that I stacked my ink pads in here, and it's a really cheap solution to store my ink pads, and I like it. Before I had, I was just kind of keeping them in the boxes and stuff, and it just wasn't working. So I really, really like this. It is sometimes a little inconvenient because you kind of have to pull them out and make sure they don't fall, but I've never really had a terrible accident with it, and it works fine for me right now. I do also label my stamp pads as to which collection they're a part of. So I keep them all organized by collection, and you can see anything that's retired, that's an actual like product, so like a stamp set or an ink pad, I put a little R next to it. So these are all of the retired colors that just retired with the new catalog. So all of my ink pads are there. And then on top of my ink pads, right here in this bin, I keep all of my framelits. So these are all of my current framelits, and embossing folders are somewhere in there. I don't have very many embossing folders, so yeah, that's that. This little bin, woo, that was really close. This little bin right here has all of my Paper Pumpkin stamp sets. So I know people always wonder how to store them. This is the best way that I've found to store them. I just keep them in this little bin. It works really well for me because I know that's where they are. I can just throw it in there, and it's kind of right out in the open for me to look to use them. If I put them in a binder or something, I feel like I would never grab them because they'd be pushed back in a binder and I just would never think about it. So, and then this bin up here is my card bin. So I was showing you guys those plastic sleeves, and this is how I store my cards. This little bin is kind of full right now because I need to send some cards out. But I keep all of my cards. Once I do a card, and if I'm going to do a video, once I film the video, I put it in this plastic sleeve and then I stick it in this basket. And these are all of the cards that are ready to be sent. Now, I like putting them in the plastic sleeves because I can either give them away as presents really easily, and they're kind of already packaged up. You just slide an envelope in there and you're good to go. And when they're in this bin, as you can see, I just kind of shove them in here. It keeps them all really protected, so none of the embellishments or anything come off because they're in this little bag protected. And there is some smaller stuff here on the side, like gift tags and that kind of thing. But yeah, that's basically what I store in here. And then in this box that these sit on, let me see if I can get this box open. These are cards that I have just a ton of. And like some paper pumpkin cards and stuff like that. So these are scrap cards, or more of like demo or like practice cards that I wasn't 100% happy with how they turned out. So more of like the cards that I don't usually send go in this box, and then my main cards go up there. So that's how I store all of that stuff. Then going down to the first row, these little bins. I got the shelving units at Target. I have one that's 2x3 and then another that's 3x3. And then I just have some bins and some empty spaces or some open spaces. So in this first bin right here, this is all of my embellishments for scrapbooking. I don't really use this stuff much anymore, but I do from time to time, so I have it. And all of my scrapbooking stuff is pretty much right here, so it's all kind of in one centralized location. This little bin here has non-Stampin' Up! Stamps, so any kind of like random stamps that I've ever purchased kind of go in here. There's not a ton in there because if I'm going to spend money on stamps, I'm going to spend money on Stampin' Up! Stamps, because why wouldn't I? But that's there, and it's more so now just kind of like a decorative piece because I had that empty shelf there and I just needed something to put there, so that's what I put. Then over here, this is these are all of my retired Stampin' Up! Stamp sets that I still have. I did get rid of quite a few that retired, but I did also have quite a few that didn't retire. So these are all the ones that I kept, and as you can see, they're all marked with, whoops, a little R, so that I know that they're retired. So if I try to go to use them, I know that it's probably not a good idea to use for a video. And then I did keep the case that my Stampin' Write markers came in, but like I said, it's just the empty case. I would mainly use this for traveling. So everything else is out, what I showed you guys earlier. Then over to the right, we have, this is my non-Stampin' Up! Paper section. So actually, well, this is Stampin' Up! Whisper White. I keep at least one spare pack of this because I go through a lot of Whisper White. So I'd like to keep at least one spare pack there. And then this is my Canson watercolor paper. As you can see, I still have a whole stack of it and I use it all the time. But when you're doing cards and stuff, you're not using a ton of paper. So this is going to last me a long time. Then I have these little magazine racks here, just on their sides. And in this one, this is Stampin' Up! Paper that's retired. And just so that I can kind of keep it in one area, this is all paper that I would probably not use in a video. But this is my way that I can kind of separate what's Stampin' Up! And what's non-Stampin' Up! So these are some paper packs that retired, and then I just had a little bit left of the 2014 to 2016 in color cardstock, so that's what that is. And then over here, this little magazine rack has just a bunch of colored cardstock that I purchased a long time ago. And then I became a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I don't use other cardstock anymore. I use our cardstock. So that's still there. There are some kind of random colors in there. So they're really, I can't think of a time where I really used that, but it's there if I ever needed to. It's good for when people come over, when I have like friends or family come over to craft. Because I'm not as concerned with wasting it because it's not super great cardstock, if that makes sense. Over here, it looks kind of crazy, but this is where I keep all of my Stampin' Up! Cardstock. And I'll just pull this out a little bit so you guys can kind of see. But essentially what I've done is I've taken all of the different colors and the color families, and I've purchased these, they're just file folders from Target. They were in the dollar section. They were like 3 folders for $1 or something like that. They were super inexpensive, but they're really pretty. And I've just labeled the folder, and then inside the folder is all of that color family of cardstock, or all of that color of cardstock. And then what I actually have these stored in are these little like bill organizer things, these little metal things. They're all stored in there, so they all fit nicely. They it doesn't take up a ton of room, and it's very organized, so I know all of my subtles are over here, brights, neutrals, in colors, regals, everything is kind of organized, and I know where everything is. Eventually I feel like it'll probably expand a little bit more, but for right now it works for me. Then going down, that's just a little empty bin that doesn't have anything in it. This, I don't know what's in here. Oh, this just has some like plastic sleeves and small scrapbook pages. This is what I use for doing Project Life, doing pocket sleeves. So that's all the stuff that I use with my fuse tool. This little bin right here, I'll actually pull this up and set it on my desk so it's a little easier to see. This is what I keep all of my scraps of cardstock in. And this is all current cardstock. So in the front, I just have some die cut images, or like this is a truck that I colored, some die cuts, all of that stuff. Then I have these little tabs, and this is where I keep all of my scrap color cardstock. So I know if I need a piece of Peekaboo Peach, and it doesn't need to be very big, I can go and search in here for that. Then there's another section that's white scraps. So I don't have tons of white scraps because I pretty much use up all of my white cardstock, but that's there. And then back here are my card bases. So these are pieces of paper that are already cut at 8.5 by 5.5. And they're the perfect size for a card base. And the reason that I keep those back there is that it makes it really easy for when I want to go do a video, or when I just want to make a card in my personal life, I can rummage through there really fast and find a card base and not have to go and pull out another piece of paper. I always pull from this bin first if I can. If not, then I go to my little folders that I just showed you guys. So I really like that. This was actually, this container was an edible arrangement came in here. And I just cleaned it out and repurposed it for that. And it's been working great for over a year now. Okay, so moving on, I have my desk right here, so it's a little awkward for me to show you guys this stuff. And here I just have my fuse tool stuff. So my fuse tool is in that box with all of the different tips. And then I have all of this fusible paper, the kit, all of my sleeves, all of that kind of stuff, my mat, my rulers, everything in here is for my fuse tool. And then in this one, I just have a little book because I think it's super pretty. And if you guys don't already know, I'm obsessed with hot air balloons. So it has a hot air balloon on it, so I had to buy it. And then on the bottom drawer, this is just kind of miscellaneous craft stuff. Like this bag has some cross-stitch stuff in it, some fabric down there, just random crafty things. Trying to not get everything in the way. This here has cards that I've received over the years, and I really want to do something with them. I'm just not sure what I want to do with them, so that's there. Then over one little thing is my current coloring book. So I keep it stored there, and then actually behind the coloring book are all of my colored pencils in a little bin. So that's really convenient. Down here, what do I have? Oh, this is my Erin Condren from last year, and a Cricut cartridge. I don't use Cricut cartridges, so that's the only one that I have. And then this bin is all of my gift wrapping stuff. So keep all of that stuff in there. Most of it's Christmas stuff, because I do like bags and stuff if I can. So moving over, ooh, that was really shaky. Sorry, guys. Okay, moving over, I have this little table here, and this has nothing super exciting on it. I just have my printer. There's some change there. I don't know why. This is my tripod. This is where I keep my tripod. Sorry for the sun glare. I keep it there. It's really easy to pull it in and out of that space. Here is a scrapbook, a finished scrapbook that I did of my parents' wedding. This is my catalog that I took apart and put in a binder. This is my binder with my color swatches in it. This is a Project Life scrapbook. All three of these are. This one right here is the only one that actually has anything in it. The other two are just storing sleeves. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. This little bin here is photos, memorabilia, anything that I want to put into a scrapbook. Or that I want to put into the scrapbook pages that I'm going to be doing next. So, like this has all of our engagement photos in it, so I know I want to do that, and then just some stuff that we've done recently that I want to add to our scrapbook. To the side, I just have my laptop case, my old laptop, a bag. Down here on this shelf, there's just page protectors. There's some extra folders for that match the folders that I keep my cardstock in. And then this is a bunch of glitter, beads, all kinds of random stuff that I bought for shaker cards that I just don't really ever use. This little box right here is kind of my other wedding central area. So it has my wedding binder, magazines, stamps, just every other wedding thing that we've done is in there. So that's where I keep that other stuff. So then we're pretty much to my desk, but I wanted to just kind of step back so you guys can get a better picture of the room. So we just went through all of this stuff. That's where that little table is. My card display, if that's what you want to call it, it's right there. My whiteboard, and then we have my desk right here. So just to give you guys a little idea of where everything is. So again, this is my card display. I've made almost all of these. I think there's 1 or 2 cards that I haven't made. Maybe just this one up here. I think that's the only one that I did not make. But this is where I just store kind of like my favorite cards that I've made recently. Then I have my whiteboard right here, which is where I just kind of schedule out what I'm going to do for the week. And then up here is where I have my little banner that I just made with this last month's paper pumpkin. Then there's not much that I keep on my desk, as far as on this side at least, because this is where I do most of my crafting. So I like to keep this area as clean as possible when I'm not working on something. That way that I can just bring everything over, have lots of room to do whatever I want to do on it, and just craft my little heart away. Now this desk I've had for probably like, I don't know, I want to say I've had it for at least 5 years. So I've painted it white. It used to be like a dark brown color. I've painted it white. I didn't do the best job at painting it, and it's scuffed up. So just keep that in mind. And none of the drawers on the inside have been painted because I got tired and didn't do that. So this drawer right here is where I keep all of my tools that I grab all the time, and some random stuff too. Like this is my cord for my Cricut, but this little bin right here is where I keep my adhesives that I use pretty much all the time. So my Tombow Mono permanent adhesive and my Stampin' Dimensionals always stay. That's pretty much all that's in this first little bin. And then here's where I have my acrylic blocks. I don't have tons of acrylic blocks. I pretty much use what I have, and it's worked fine. I mean, there's every once in a while where I wish I had a slightly smaller block for some small sentiments or images, but for the most part, I only have 4 blocks, and 4 blocks in the paper pumpkin one, and it works really well for me. Then in the next little bin back, these are all of the other adhesives that I have that I just don't use as often. So tear and tape, fast fuse, multi-glue, liquid glue, scotch tape, removable adhesive. And then in the very back, I just have some coasters. My foam strips are here, my hole punch. This is my little mount for my camera, for my tripod, and that's what's in there. Then in this drawer, or this little cabinet down here, there's just kind of random crafting stuff. I have like my old paper trimmer, bead stuff, origami, some old scrapbooks. This little guy right here has all of my vinyl in it, some spare Cricut mats, paper towels. You always need paper towels, so I keep those right next to me, some rubbing alcohol. Really not anything exciting. My trash can's there, which needs to be emptied. And then to the other side of my desk, I guess I can show you guys what's on this side of the desk. So I just have my laptop there. I just keep it there. It's convenient for it to be there. I have my mouse, my mouse pad, my little desk light, and then I have all of these little mason jars here that have brushes, pens, pencils, scissors, tools. Everything is kind of organized by type in there. And that's how I stay organized. That's how I keep all of my supplies organized and right at my fingertips. Then I have my Cricut over here. On top of my desk, I have the Explorer Air, and I absolutely love it. I don't use it as much as I should, but I still do use it, and I should start doing some videos using it, but I'm super into card making and stamping right now, so it gets a little difficult to do a ton of other projects. And then on this wall right here, this is where I keep my mats. So that's our haul right there. But this is where I keep my mats. There's just a thumbtack up there, and I just hang them here. And that way it's really easy to have them right at my fingertips and just grab them and start using them. And I've also found that they keep their stick longer because they're up and they're not touching other things. They're not getting rubbed up against something else. It's just right there. Nothing else touches it. And it seems to work really well for me. So that's what I do. Then I have another one of these little magazine racks on my desk, and in here I keep a copy of the catalog that's not the one that I have in the binder, just because this one's easy to kind of grab and throw around. The reason I have the one in the binder is so that I can take that with me places and it's not getting messed up. This one, like the corners are scruffed and that kind of stuff, but that's what that one's for. It's supposed to be here so I can just grab it as I'm crafting if I need an idea or something. I also keep my Stampin' Trimmer in here. I have this little cheat sheet that has paper card, the layer dimensions, just so I can always remember which size I need to cut something. I have my Stampin' Scrub and my Stampin' Mist in here, so all that stays there. I have my water. This is stuff that I'm going to be doing videos upcoming, so I have a couple of cards that I've done samples for that I'm going to start filming, and some stickers. I think I'm going to do another plan with me, so there's that. Then for the drawers here, this is kind of my office-y drawer right at my fingertips. So I have like my remote, my pad of paper, cords. There's like some thumbtack, sticky notes, whiteout. This has stickers in it, some notepads, that kind of stuff. My baby wipes are always at my fingertips. This has all of my my embellishments and stuff in it. I can't get the strap to stop getting in the camera view. Okay, hopefully that's better. So this has all of my embellishments in it. So back here I actually have glue, rulers, little scissors, stuff that I don't use very often. And then kind of right here in the middle is my washi tape. I have my little mini stapler. I have my corner rounders, my sponges that I've cut up and already used. Some enamel dots or whatever they're called now. All of my embossing powders and my embossing buddy go in here. This is where all of my sequins are. I have some little mini clothespins, all of like these little tiny embellishments that come in these little things. This is all of my spare adhesives. So I have tons of dimensionals. These are these should actually be back here. These are all of like the stuff, the adhesives that come in Paper Pumpkin, I throw in here. I got some scissors on this side. And then all of my ribbons, baker's twine, that kind of stuff gets put in here. And then this right here is just files, personal stuff. Down here, let me move this chair out of the way a little bit. I have these, there's actually 2 of these containers here that keep all of my Project Life cards in them. There's one here and then one right behind it. Oops. I have my envelope punch board right there that I don't really use much anymore, to be completely honest. And then I have my heat gun right here. I like this, so I just have a little thumbtack right here, and it just hangs there, so it's always right at my fingertips. It's always plugged in, because we have this electric strip right here. It's always plugged in right at my fingertips, and then it has a home to go to. So, yeah, I think that's it, guys. So that is my craft room. Oh, there's a little doggy. That's an overview of my entire craft room. It's the space that I have, and it works well for me, and I really like it, and I'm so grateful to have as much space as I do. and to be able to craft and share with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you want more information on anything that I showed, that was kind of a really fast overview. So if you want any more information or want to see something else up close and personal, please let me know, and I would be more than happy to do that. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye!